M for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
And we welcome you to Ball Game live on the PFC Entertainment Network. Along with Vinny, I'm Jason. We appreciate you tuning in here on a very special Saturday afternoon edition of the show. We've got a lot to talk about in and around the wonderful world of America's pastime and centered around Major League Baseball. But before we get to all that, Vinny, great to see you, my friend. How's things in your neck of the woods?
I'm just dandy. I am, butcher 40 chickens and screwed a beagle back home in Savannah. He's wanted for banging horses. Jesus Christ. My God. But anyway, yeah, Tommy boy. I know Black Sheep. I'm sorry. Black Sheep. All right. I'm goofy today, guys. I am goofy. I'm just telling you straight out. I've been dealing with dead hand, all right, for a month now. Can't stand it. Okay. But obviously, I'm in great spirits. I'm with my boy Jason over here. Okay, we got a lot of baseball to talk about, man. I ain't gonna lie. I've been loving, watching the Yankees kind of go down the toilet bowl, which is my forte. I like that. But anyway, I'm doing great, Jay. Besides the dead hand and everything, it's sunny. It's actually nice out. It's not too hot. It's a nice freaking day for once. So, man, I'm doing pretty well, and just staying up on baseball, making those clips, and making magic happen, baby. So, how you doing over there in your neck of the woods?
We are
the woods, right? Neck of the woods.
Listen, it's funny that you say that because we're as I told you before we came on the air here today, we're getting ready for camping trip. And I don't know, Vinny, the last time you took a camping trip with your family or friends or what have you, but I don't think people fully, if you're going to prepare for a trip like that, not just a weekend, we're talking like a week's worth of camping here. And especially when there's kids involved. I don't think people really appreciate the mental stress that goes into making sure. You're making list after list after list, and you're going through this, you're moving this, and you're putting it over here, and it's like, like I told you, my living room right now looks like a goddamn bomb went off in it. Like there's just stuff all over the place. But listen, after what has been nothing short of a roller coaster of a week for me personally, things are settling down, and there's things to look forward to. This here today was very much a part of that. This had to happen today. So yeah, man, by and large, number one, first and foremost, I woke up today. And, everything else is cream cheese after that. We're going to have our good days. We're going to have our bad days. But there's a lot of people in this world that didn't wake up today. And, when I open my eyes every day, like it is a concentrated thought, to acknowledge and be respectful of the gift of another day, because we're not promised a tomorrow, right? So,
Right.
You got to live in the moment, and right now, man, like with everything that with the week that's been, It's good to finally be able to take a breath. We're going to sit here for the next little bit and talk about baseball, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the New York Yankees. So, with that being said, let's start off this week with Manischewitz. The American League East is getting extremely interesting. There is another American League division we're going to focus on here that not a lot of people are paying attention to right now, but like it's on my radar. We'll explain here late in a little bit. But when you look at the American League East, Vinny, right now on Saturday, as we're coming into the afternoon, the New York Yankees have got to be, by all accounts, and forgive me for saying, shit in their pants, because they listen for the majority of this season. It has been the Tampa Bay and New York show in the American League East. Nobody gave the Boston Red Sox any kind of hope, especially with the controversial change in management very early in the year. They go on this unprecedented 15-game winning streak a little bit ago. But man, oh man, they are just 3 games behind the New York Yankees right now. Now, Tampa Bay is continuing to play really good baseball, 9-1 in their last 10 games. The Yankees are doing better. The last 10 games, they have split 5-5, but they are on a 2-game losing streak, and I know that tickles you to no end. The other team that is starting to catch fire is the Toronto Blue Jays. And a lot of people wrote them off, Vinny, especially after what we saw last season, going to the World Series. What was that team going to look like coming into this season? And by all accounts, man, it's like the wheels fell off. Well, now they are on something of a surge, 7-3 in their last 10 games. And they won last night, although there's a little bit of concern north of the border with Vladdy and a collision at third base last night. He's out of the lineup here today because of the concussion protocol. That is one guy that Toronto cannot afford to lose. Now, I laid the table. I set the table there, Vinny. Let's start with Boston and New York and what's probably going to wind up becoming a race to the wire as we move along here at the last quarter of the regular season. Isn't that crazy that this is where we're at in the season?
You know, this is what makes baseball the best sport, right? It's a marathon, right? We're counting people out, a month into the season. Nothing, right? But what I want to concentrate on and also say to you is this, I think other teams, now you said like the Toronto Blue Jays, very, very good team. But think of this. The 2 teams that are surging are the Boston Red Sox, as you said, and the Philadelphia Phillies. And what do they have in common? They both fired their manager early in the season. Early. I mean, within a month, they were gone. So I think these other teams are kind of looking at it like, what the hell? Wait a minute. We have a manager. We have a good organization. And these guys fire their manager, right? And now they're basically on top. They are surging towards that wild card or the division. And I think they're just kind of reflecting on like how, you know what I mean? Like, I think I would be asking that question if I was a ball player, like, oh my God, like they got rid of their manager and they're doing as good. And that's great. Don Mattingly for the Phillies, Boston, who's the manager, the interim, I can't think of his name, but I mean, listen, this is the Yankees' worst nightmare. The Boston Red Sox tail grabbing ass. And I love it because, man, oh man, Jay. Now, Boston and the Yankees, I think they do play each other again coming up, in the near future. That is going to make the games even more relevant. And who is it? Scott that watches from Boston,
Yeah.
right? He's got Scott, chime in, brother, because give us some feeling up there, man. Because man, I know the feeling, but he's up there, and they got to be going nuts because to be in the cellar and then to only be 3 games behind the Yankees in second place and the wild card, that is absolutely nuts. That is so crazy to think of. Everybody had them dead and buried. Nope, done. Even with Philadelphia, dead and buried. Next year they'll find their manager. That's what we would say, right? Okay, this is a flop. Let them find a new manager. Put the pieces together. You know what they said? Screw that. They said, screw that. We're going to work what we have. We like the new manager, obviously, because they're winning. So something is gelling with them that they did not have before. And I'm telling you, the Yankees fans, excuse my language, they're shitting the pants, man. They are shitting because they don't want to be embarrassed. That's what it is. It's not about overcoming and this and that. It's about getting embarrassed, dude. They shouldn't even be here right now. They should not be even near a sniff of the wild card and no longer, second place. It speaks more volumes than I can yell, bro, And it's exciting, especially in my neck of the woods, because I'm so close to it, Jay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have a very unique perspective on all this, and that's what I appreciate. I'm looking at the schedule for Boston. They have one more series with the Yankees at Yankee Stadium at the end of this month. What I find interesting, and now that's going to be a 4-game series because they have to do a makeup. So the Saturday, the 29th, is going to be a doubleheader between Boston and New York. But what I find interesting is, as I'm looking into September, the third to the last series of the season for Boston is at Tampa Bay. So if Boston can maintain this momentum and New York is, they have been so up and down with how they're playing on the field. And there's a lot of key pieces that are not in that lineup. Okay. And so much of this has been blamed on the absence and the injury of Aaron Judge. But Boston has a very unique opportunity here, if not to overtake the Yankees and to secure. Wouldn't that be just poetic if some way or another, the way all these teams are shifting, that they completely knock the New York Yankees out of the possibility of even contending for a wild card? That's what we have here. The other team that has the opportunity to do this, although it wouldn't put them into the playoffs, but they can play the role of major spoiler, the Sacramento A's. Because
it's not Oakland. We're in Sacramento, baby.
love my friends in Sacramento. But seriously, half of the remaining schedule for the Athletics are against AL West teams. So even though they're not doing good right now, by and large, they have they have the opportunity to really play the role of spoilers, specifically for the Houston Astros. And I wouldn't be mad about it if I can be honest. But if you're Tampa Bay, Vinny, and you're sitting 6 games on top of the AL East right now, which team are you most worried about from your estimation? Is it Boston? Is it New York? Could it be somebody else that comes up? Could it be Toronto? Could it be whoever?
No, it's hands down Boston, Jay. They got the momentum. They went on a 15-game winning streak, lost, then went on an 8-game winning streak. I don't want to play those boys right now. I don't want to play those guys. If I'm in the major leagues, I'm on the team, I don't want to play the Boston Red Sox right now. Okay? If you are rooting against Boston, you got to hope that Boston goes on a 10-game losing streak. That's the only way that you're going to basically get them out of contention. And these other teams that you mentioned, yeah, they can make a push, but the Boston has so much energy right now. It is surpassing every story that's out there. And that's what makes it unique and awesome. And just, I mean, the fans, I mean, this is for real. It's like you blink, they're in last place. You blink, they're right there. And like I said, when baseball is played on the level it is, it's the best damn sport in the world. And this is what it's showing. Toronto, yes, but like you said, Vlad is a big piece. They need Vladdy back in a worse way. It's only been a day. They need him. Yankees, Judge, they need him too, of course. They're losing that leadership. Now who's going to step? My question is to you would be, on the New York Yankees, who's going to step up to be that captain now? Is there someone that can play the role of a Judge, that big of a figure that he brings to the New York Yankees? That would be the question. Who is going to step up? We know Derek Jeter in the past stepped up. He was the captain for years and years and years. Okay, now you have your captain that's down. Who is going to step up? That's my question. I haven't seen anything right now that anybody has take a stance on. Have you, Jay?
I have not, and I'll go a step further with that thought, Vinny. And listen, anybody who knows me knows what kind of a bold statement this is, but the New York Yankees, they're not going to find another Derek Jeter anytime soon, if I can be honest with you. It's not Aaron Judge. I can tell you that. And that's not dismissing what Judge has done as a player. The guy is impressive. He's as large as a professional wrestler, but as agile as any athlete that's out there. Like we've talked about it. There's no reason why that dude should be able to move his body, though, as large as it is, the way that he does. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There is, but what Jeter, it's so difficult for me to give any Yankee their flowers. But if I'm being objective and I'm being professional here, you have to acknowledge what the guy did. Jeter epitomized the role of captain, not just on the field, but in the clubhouse, and just as important, with the media. Yep. You know what I mean? Aaron Judge is not, he doesn't check all those boxes for me personally. When I watch his interviews, I feel like they're very manufactured. You know what I mean? Whereas Jeter, you could ask him anything at any time and you're getting authentic, real time, responses, because he was dialed in on the Yankee system. He knew his assignment. He knew what that team expected of him. And while Judge, I have no doubt, knows what his assignment is, and he knows that this team has pretty much been put on his shoulders, and it's not just because he's missed a shit ton of time because of injuries, but he just does not have that same connection with the media, with the fans, not in the New York market, but people talk very positively about Derek Jeter, whether you are a Yankee fan or not. Yep. You're not getting that with Aaron Judge. So my to make a short answer long, because that's what I do, the Yankees don't have another captain right now in the sense of what they really need to bring this shit together. Because from my view, and I could be wrong here in the long run, but the New York Yankees are the Titanic, and they have hit the iceberg. And
Boston is the iceberg. Yep.
I was just going to say that Boston is the iceberg, and that ship is going down.
Yeah.
We had a gentleman on the Sports Reel podcast last week, and he was a Yankees fan, and he pays a lot closer attention than we do, obviously. But he was on the air and he's like, "Look, I'm expecting the Yankees to get hot." Well, now's that time, because they're, like I said, we're in the last quarter of this season. You do not have a lot of wiggle room here. There is that margin for error is closing every single day and with every single Boston win. Because I'm telling you, man, that boat is sitting upright right now. You feel me? It's just a matter of time before we get that. And then
and great point. And when that ship goes down, Jason, the whole team, see you later, to the manager over there, the GM, get rid of them. I'm telling you, if that happens and Boston, all right, like you said, they surpass them and they don't make the playoffs, oh my God, this will be, to me, it will be history. To me, oh my gosh, they've done it. And that will be, the straw that broke the camel's back, I think. Because if that were ever happen, New York, they don't put up with that, Jason. Right. Those fans will absolutely go nuts if that ever happened. They call for people's jobs now. You imagine if, because New Yorkers are very short with managers. Get rid of them. That's how they are. We're on a 15-game losing streak. It's the manager's fault. Everything's the manager. They don't want to blame the players. Everything's on the manager. Well, that's kind of unfair. The manager's not out there playing. I get it, but the players got to take responsibility too. If you're playing like crap, you can't blame the manager. If you can't put down a bunt or if you can't hit in big situations, well, that's not the manager's fault. He's putting you up there at a certain point and you're not delivering. Guess what? We got to go to someone else. And that's where the farm team comes in to me. Now you're going to start to see September, you're going to see the call-ups, right? And this is another defining point, Jason. Those call-ups, okay, in the past, they have kept for the playoffs some players, which is great. Young players get to see that, and some rise to that occasion. There's plenty of situations that I've seen in baseball where these young guys are called up in September, and managers like, you know what? We're going to keep him on the roster. We're going to keep him on the postseason roster. And for good reasons. Say Judge is out. Say he's not there. We need to add someone, a Judge like a right fielder or something. And you know what? That's what makes baseball too. You're bringing somebody from the minors back up and not just saying play. You're saying get in the postseason for me. Let's win. And I love it. Let's cut through the chase and everything. Go out there and perform. And how many careers were defined because of that? Look it up. There's plenty. Look, Dave Magadan back in the day, he was a call-up. And the next year, he was starting for the New York Mets in 87, in 88. And you could go on and on about these examples. But yeah, man, the Titanic is at a tip. And Boston, man, is that iceberg. And it's not just an iceberg. It's an iceberg with claws and and bombs. So if you go near that some bitch, it's going to blow up and you done. And the Yankees will float to the bottom, sink to the bottom of the ocean where they belong. Yes. I can't say enough about the Yankees. I love my Yankees. Yeah, I love them. I love when they lose, baby. You know what? All, like we've said on this show, Jason, all our lives, Yankees. Yes, they're the best. Okay, I'll admit it. My God, 29 championships. We get it. But enough's enough sometimes. We need variety. We need certain kind of teams in there. When a team is not expected to make the playoffs and does and goes far, that's awesome. We're all like, okay, that's the Cinderella story. Well, guess what? The New York Yankees was never a Cinderella story. Never. Tell me once when they're right. They've always been on top. They don't know what it's like to be on bottom and come back up. And that is the defining point. Used to be on top, always used to be on top. Now they're on the bottom trying to catch back up. Let's see what they could do. Like you said, and Tampa Bay's playing a game of baseball right now. And they're hot, boy. And
I'm telling you, 9-1 in their last 10.
I mean, Jay, think about it. Every year, the Rays are good. They are doing something right. And they don't have a big payroll. That's the thing. So how is it every year, Jason? Every year they are in contention. Every year, and they don't have a quarter of the payroll the Mets or the Yankees have, right?
They don't have a quarter of the payroll. They don't have that over-the-top marquee superstar. They have a damn good team that pick each other up, that ride that momentum. And when you are in a division that includes the Yankees and the Red Sox, for the longest time, those are the two marquee teams. And the fact that Tampa Bay has been as good as they are consistently for the last 5 years, minimum, that has got to be such a thorn in the side of New York and Boston. And that's why people didn't take the Toronto Blue Jays very seriously until they were in the ALCS. Right. And then it's like, well, wait a minute. What the hell is going on? Where did Toronto come from all of a sudden? You know what I mean? If the playoffs were to start here today, these are the teams representing the American League. Obviously, the Rays, the Chicago White Sox, who started a crucial series with the Tigers this weekend, won game 1 last night over Detroit, and the Houston Astros. The bottom part of that would be the Yankees, Red Sox, Tigers. However, the Minnesota Twins and the Texas Rangers are just a half a game back for a wild card spot. And then below them, the aforementioned Blue Jays and the Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles are starting to very quietly make some noise. Now, over on the National League side of things, it is the Brewers, the Dodgers, and the Braves. The three-headed monster has not changed very much this season. Once the Brewers, the Dodgers, and the Braves respectfully took their control over their divisions, they've pretty much ridden that momentum. But underneath them, and this is where it gets real interesting, the Chicago Cubs, the San Diego Padres now would get a wild card spot. And Vinny, you called this shit like a month and a half ago. The Arizona Diamondbacks. The Arizona Diamondbacks, Vinny told everybody, pay attention to this team. And nobody listened outside of Arizona. You better start paying attention to the Diamondbacks because this is another team. Last 10, they went 5-5. But look, make no mistake. They're starting to put it together at the perfect time to put it, put all one neat package here. The Padres and the Cubs have gone 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they're on fire. So the National League is getting very interesting. And much like with the Yankees in the American League, in the National League right now, a lot of eyeballs are centered on the Dodgers because they have stumbled out of the block coming out of the trade deadline. They got Tarek Skubal, ladies and gentlemen. They won themselves a goddamn World Series. And then what happened? Skubal goes out there and shits the bed. Okay.
That's right.
I cannot remember who they played. I want to say it was Kansas City, but I might be wrong with that. but it made me want to go buy I'll just use this as an example, a Kansas City Royals hat. You know what I mean? I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much, Kansas City.
That was the best move you guys could make to get rid of him. I'm being dead serious. And let's clear up one thing. I listen to sports radio basically all day. What the Dodgers are doing is nothing wrong. They're doing, let's be straightforward about this. As of today and of this year, the Los Angeles Dodgers are doing nothing wrong. Their payroll. They are reaping the benefits of having money and doing things the right way. So before you start to hate on the Dodgers, I get it. Believe me, I get it. But they have done nothing wrong. They have gone by the rules. And this is why we're going to have the lockout coming up, because they're trying to prevent this kind of stuff. So for now, you can't say they cheated or this and that. No, they're playing by the rules. They have a shitload of money and they're spending it. They want to buy World Series, basically, okay? And there's nothing in the rule book that says you cannot as of today. And this is what's going to cause the lockout, because you want more even players. But then you think, Jay, okay, we want it more even, but the Tampa Bays of the world, they're doing it right now without the cap. So let's start to think what is really going on. Like Scooble, for example. He's dying for a World Series ring, right? He's dying for it. He's going to go to the Dodgers, right? Yeah, which he did. And then they're going to assess him after this year. Now, I know this is a dream for you. Right before the Dodgers go into the playoffs, he throws his arm off. Right? Tell me who's going to sign him, Jay? If that happens, which is a good chance, we've talked about this all the time. It's a real possibility. It is a real possibility, Jason, that guy goes out there in the postseason. That's it. That's it for the lesson today. You're done. So now, what do you do, right? Because Detroit is still paying him, right? Okay. So what do you do with it? Say if that, let's play devil's advocate. Say if that does happen, Jason. He's in the playoffs. He gets hurt. Okay. What do you do with him? Does the Dodgers sign him? I don't think so. Do you give him a third chance? He popped it twice. Do you give him that's this is a big question. This is a real issue. If he does that, he gets hurt. What team in their right mind would say, I want him for $500 million. No. Why take that risk? If he's shown you 3 times that he's blown his arm out, what is it going to make any difference on the next surgery and the next surgery and the next? To me, it's not worth it. It's not worth, getting these flamethrowers like we've talked about on this show and throwing your damn arm out. Give me a pitcher, Jay. Give me a pitcher like we've talked about. Give me a Maddox. Give me a Smoltz. I'll take them any day over any of these pitchers today. Any of them. They pitched longer, five innings. No. And that, people, I'm telling you, pay attention. I know we're laughing and joking, but that it's a real possibility that can happen. And the question is, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, flat out. What do you do? What if any team in the major leagues is not going to go near him? I mean, yeah, okay, somebody will pick him up, but for what? Right? I mean, you were making what? Oh, say $300 million. You do that, and you don't have a contract yet. What are they going to sign you to? Are you worth that much with all those surgeries? No, Jay. There's something going. Well, no.
The thing of it is, and this is another thing that really annoyed the shit out of me, if I can be honest with you. Scooble we're talking about here. during an interview last week and a half ago. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but this is what he said. He hopes that Detroit joins the conversation at the end of the season for his contract negotiation, because he would really appreciate the opportunity to come back and be a Detroit Tiger.
No, that ship has sailed.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. For me, listen, man, this has been one of the most polarizing things as Detroit Tiger fans that we've, between this and Verlander's injury and future and his retirement and all of this shit. These have been the two glaring headlines this season. More so for Tarik Skubal because he was our ace, and it was like, okay, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, and I got crucified because I'm on these airwaves. I'm like, get him the fuck out of here. I do not want this guy here. I do not think he is an asset to this team anymore because of all the bullshit that we've had to talk about with his contract. I do not care about his contract, and the fact that it became a focal point has soured the stew in my view. I was so damn glad that when I got the notification that he was leaving, I knew he was going to be a Dodger. Everybody like he's going to Milwaukee or he's talking to Tampa Bay or what. I don't give a rat's ass who he was talking to. We all knew he was going to Los Angeles. And when he got there, like I sat there, I have no problem in admitting when I saw him that next day sitting in the dugout. I think it was Sunday Night Baseball, sitting in the dugout wearing that Dodgers uniform. It made me so goddamn sick, and I'm like, never again, never again. Even if he came back here at a discount, I do not want him on the Detroit Tigers. He is not what this team needs. So for him to come up and say, well, gosh, I hope Detroit gets into the conversation for my contract. Fuck off.
Yep. You burn that bridge, bro. You've burned that bridge. You torched that bridge. And wait a minute. Let me go win a World Series with the Dodgers and I'll come back to Detroit. Hell no. What are you thinking? You know what, Jay? When someone has to have that much attention, right? As much as Skubal did, like you said, over the past year with all of this, when that speaks volumes to you, we got to look at the other side and say, why is he getting so much attention, right? Why is it so much? Oh, we get it. He's hurt. Okay. How many people get hurt and you don't hear from them and they come back next year, whatever. But when there is buzz around, there's crap around him. And the more they talk, they're trying to tell you out loud, but not out loud, that this guy is no good. That's what they're trying to tell you. They're not just going to come out and say it. So when you have that kind of, relationship, you can't. He's made too much noise and done nothing. Oh, Vin, he's a two-side, Cy Young Award winner. Yeah, and he's also had 2 Tommy John surgeries. So, right. So let's level it off here. And and here's an example, Jason. I don't know if I've told you this. Now, obviously, Mets fan. What the last part that I told you, saying it out loud, but don't want to say it out loud. I don't know if you were aware of this. It happened this week. Keith Hernandez, my boy. I love Keith, Ron Darling, and Gary Cohen. I love the best. Yeah. And so I look at my phone. I get a notification saying he has to apologize. I said, what the hell has he got to apologize for? So I look back at the tape. They're talking. All he said was, "Oh, the Mets, for this year, it's basically done. They're taking out the garbage for more or less of a phrase," he said, and they got upset. They forced him to apologize. It's like, wait a minute. That's a phrase that goes around anywhere. We're taking out the garbage. We're not calling you garbage. It's a slang. It's a saying. We're taking out. He's just saying these guys are going to be going. The new guys are going to be coming. Come on, guys. Come on. No, and Hernandez must have been like, I don't want to freaking do it, but this is my job, and this and that. Where are we to even say we can't take out the garbage? It's getting, like you said, it's getting a little too, ooh, he said this, or, ooh, I can't take this, don't say that. And it's becoming a little bit of a joke. You hired him as a broadcaster. Let him speak his mind. Long as he's not saying anything, swearing and you know what I mean?
Right.
It's a slang, Jay. I could say, hey, Jay, at work, you need to get rid of some of these guys or whatever. Yeah, Vin. I mean, we know what we're all saying. Major League Baseball, these organizations are going down this hole that I think they should not be going in. Obviously, I don't want to spin the situation to another subject, but anyway, that's for another time or place. But no, what I want to ask you, Jay, Detroit, you got the Tigers. You got, who else is in first? That you just said, Tigers. Yes. What is the buzz out there with the White Sox? I know you're not out there, but like you said, where'd they come from?
From a Detroit perspective,
right.
We expected this to be a Cleveland-Detroit showdown. Under no circumstances were the Chicago White Sox even considered in the conversation. There was more conversation centered around the Kansas City Royals than, and that's not disparaging against the Royals, but I mean, let's face facts here. The American League Central has been either Detroit or Cleveland or Minnesota. Now, out of nowhere, the White Sox have not just emerged, they have pretty much dominated the majority of the season on top of the Central. And we're over here like, the fuck they put in that river in Chicago? You know what I mean? Like, what is going on right now? So this weekend, it is Tigers White Sox. And it is, and this is coming after winning a series over Cleveland, which hasn't happened in a hot minute. So we had back-to-back Central, rivals. And it's like, oh my God. And now on the horizon, once we get past the White Sox, is the Pittsburgh Pirates. Again,
right.
You can't be sleeping on the Pirates. And everybody, well, they're last in the National League Central.
Look at the record.
5 games. They're 5 games back in the tank. Okay. The National League Central is the most competitive of the divisions in all of baseball. And that has been one of the consistencies about this season. While the Dodgers have dominated the West and the White Sox have dominated the Central, the National League Central, even though it's been the Milwaukee Brewers show, the teams underneath them, man, like they're the ones that are sidestepping and overtaking one another. And it looks like something that you would see in a movie. So, but the White Sox right now, dude, like they are a concern. And if I watched, a little bit of the game last night, and I'm like, this is not a fluke. This team is not a fluke. The White Sox I'm talking about.
Right.
This is a team that we need to. I'm more focused on the White Sox right now than I am the Guardians. And like, I didn't think I'd be saying that because Cleveland has been the American League Central for a while, and now, whereas we talked about the Yankees have been on the hot seat and with the Red Sox emerging the way that they have, the Guardians are on the hot seat right now because Chicago has leapfrogged all of us. Minnesota ain't done shit. They have been very much middle of the road. They have not made moves or noise one way or the other. And Kansas City, like I really appreciate the Kansas City baseball team. I really, really do. Until they become a threat, then I'm like, no, fuck you guys.
Right.
But you know, it's
But
alarming right now, man.
you make a great point. What is brewing, like you said, in the National League Central? Wow, Jay. Pittsburgh, right?
Right.
All those teams are getting better. They are going to contend. But here's the kicker. They're going to be a damn strike. That's where you throw a monkey wrench in. What you just said is so accurate. The Pirates, the Brewers have been on top. Reds, this, that. These teams are starting to rise to the top, to the cream, right? They're pressing these first place teams. They're starting to make their mark. The Pittsburgh Pirates, like you said, only 5 games. Only 5 games. They are dangerous. That is the most competitive division. And that's scary. But what's even scarier is they've done all this and you're going to have a lockout. Your momentum, you know what I mean, Jay? It's like a bubble that just bursted. Because, listen, like you said in the beginning of this, there's no guarantee on life itself. So there's no guarantee that we will be back in another year for baseball. There's no guarantee. We don't know how long this thing is going to go on. You're talking about forever contracts, right? And now you're trying to break that up. That's a barrier, Jay. That is a big barrier for those two to come together and assess, say, yes, I'll meet you halfway here. I think it's a long battle. I really do, because like I said, forever, this is second nature to them now, getting paid what they're owed. It's been going on forever. So to just stop it and negotiate is going to be big. This is going to be a big issue. And I hope it doesn't last more than a year. That's enough, right? I mean, does it go beyond this year?
It can't.
It can't. No.
It cannot. It will not survive.
No.
It will not survive. Period. You know, we likened the Yankees to the Titanic, right? We use that as a metaphor, as an example to kind of paint a picture. You take a sports team and you try to liken it to a disaster of that proportion, just so it paints a picture. Allow me to paint another one with the current state of MLB and liken it to a disaster. You ready for this?
Sure.
Hear me out. I look at the current landscape of MLB, and so much of what you had just said makes so much sense in the terms of, like, all these teams are jockeying for position. All these teams are trying to get themselves either established or reestablished in some regard. Whether you're at the top of the mountain, like the Los Angeles Dodgers, or you're trying to find your way like the Chicago White Sox or the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Chicago Cubs. But on the horizon, there's this ominous feeling of doom that came with the eventual eruption of Mount St. Helens. Like, we knew that mountain was about to blow. There was enough signs going on that there is abnormal activity that we are not used to around this entity, and eventually the bottom is going to fall out, or the top is going to blow, and it's going to wreck everything in its wake. This looming strike with MLB, if they don't start getting shit in place and having some sort of preliminary discussions in a pure effort to come to some sort of common ground. This bitch will blow like Mount St. Helens. And if they don't find a way to curb the lava, if they don't find a way to come to the negotiating table and find some degree of common ground, and we have a significant work stoppage in baseball, it will look like that town in Washington that was laid to nothing, and it will never be the same again. I know it's dire, and I know it's kind of a weird example.
No.
But I mean, if you're paying attention, this is what's coming. This is what has the potential. Yeah. And as a lifelong baseball fan, I do not want this, dude. I don't want this. This is scary to me.
It's scary. Here's another question, right? You have the lockout. You're going to lose a lot of people, right?
Oh, yeah.
We go, right? I mean, that's what the thing is. Like, will I come back to it? Will you eventually? But will it be as hot? It's going to take a long time. Like you said, the 94 lockout. What got us out of there? The juice. You know, Sammy Sosa and McGwire.
Yeah.
All the juicers, right? Get rid of the juice. Now we're back on track, right? Now, like you said, these Pittsburgh Pirates and the little teams are starting to, make that curve towards the better. And now, yes, you've got a looming cloud and it's right over you and you don't even know it yet. And when it hits hard. And you don't know how that's going to affect the product that you put out there, that people are watching. You might have a 71-year-old or a 29-year-old that goes, I'm tired of this shit. I'm not doing this no more. I was looking forward to watching baseball this year. And these, you know what's coming, right? These greedy son of bitches.
Millionaires versus billionaires. That's what it's going to come down to. Yep.
Oh, you know what I always say, Jay? Oh, God, I feel bad for you, man. You didn't get your third yacht. I mean, come on. Jesus Christ. When is enough? How much money? Somebody said it the other day. 600 million. Do you really need? Do you really need 600 million? Like you said, millionaires versus the billionaires. Well, the billionaires keep making money. We're not making any money. Can we get some crumbs as we said on this show? Can we get a little crumbs? No, they want the whole damn thing, Jay. They're selfish. They want the whole thing. And they don't care if they will crush anybody's spirits. They don't care for kids, with the playing field. No, I don't care about that. I want my pay. But you're making, 30 million a year. It doesn't make sense, Jason. It just doesn't. There was a guy, help me out here. This was 25, 30 years ago. He made the majors. I don't know who it was, Jason. And he said, I would play this sport for $1. I forgot who it was. In other words, he didn't care about the money. This was his dream, that he made the major leagues, that he genuinely just loves to play baseball. And I forgot who it was. He said, I will play this game for $1, $1. And that made me feel like, wow, that is so awesome to have someone genuine that's just telling the truth, that like, basically, okay, the money will be there, but I don't need that much to play. I love baseball that much. I will play it for $1. And that brought sunshine to me. It was like, you get it. You get it. You know what I mean? Because these people forget what got them there. And now they're greedy. You weren't born a major leaguer. You were born, regular person, just like us. You had to come up through the rankings, this, that, this. And it tells me you forgot about those days when you were struggling and trying to get signed in this. Well, by doing this, you're doing the same thing to our boys down there. You're hurting them for their chances of making it with the lockout, with all this money situation. You know what you're doing? You're training these young men. You're retraining their brains to say money, 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 not just baseball, money, money. And what does that do? That destroys people. Destroys when you're just so much greedy and you care about the game, but you care about your money more. You know, it's you have enough for a lifetime, but that's not good enough, and that's where you get yourself in trouble. That's what I don't like. Absolutely not.
Listen, as a father of a aspiring baseball player who is garnering increasing attention, I look at this thing, to piggyback off what you're saying, that's a conversation that I have had with my kid a couple of times because it's naturally been brought up. And the one thing that I tell him is no matter what kind of success you have, no matter what college is looking at you, no matter how many camps you get invited to, do not ever let the promise of financial gain spoil your love for the game. And I keep repeating that shit because I want that to be embedded into. I want him to be as successful as he can be. Yes. And part of that is financial kickback. Yes. But that should not be the sole reason why you are stepping onto the ball field. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If you are driven solely by money, you've cut one of your legs out from under you on your own.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because
I agree.
I don't know, man. Like that's just I get it. People want to get paid. I want to get paid for doing this. I want you to get paid for doing what you're doing. Tim and Eric, they deserve to get paid for what they're doing. But we do this because we love this.
Right.
This is not our job. We do this because this is our passion. This is what we want to do. And we have our own specific talents that we bring to the table. We know there's not another Jason Klaus. There's not another Vinny. There's not another Tim Sheridan and Eric Mendel. You know what I mean? Right. We deserve to be compensated accordingly. Yes. But we do not allow that to be the determining factor in how we move and what we do. You know what I mean? We do it because we love it. And if we get paid for it, well, that's the icing on the cake. And that's what I tried to instill in my kid. Now, with the strike thing, billionaires, millionaires, and that's what it's going to come down to. If we have a lockout, I shit you not, it will be within hour one. You will start seeing this and hearing this. And with every time that phrase is uttered, we've lost a fan. And they're not coming back, bro. There's fans, there's friends that I know that I've known for a long time lifelong baseball fans. But once the World Series was canceled in '94, they've never returned, dude. They turned their attention to the National Hockey League. No, I don't say that. I know that sounded real shitty. I understand, and I'm not trying to. But what I'm saying is they took their attention. They
somewhere
took
else.
Support, they took their money and invested into another sport, into another team. Right. And it's like baseball can't afford that. It really can't. It really cannot. So
to your point, Jay, it's like when you were just explaining that about the money part, I had a vision in my head, kind of like a father and son when he's like maybe say 13, 14. And just like what you said, it's kind of like the father is in his ear saying, do it. You know why? You'll make big money. Keep going. You'll make, not because you love the game, because you're going to, if you do this, son, you'll have more money than you can think of. And that should not be the reason why, like you said. It should be the love of the game. They made a freaking movie, Love of the Game, with Kevin Costner. I mean, this is a kid's game. It's a kid's game. Let's be honest. And we're
Right.
playing at the toppest level that you can imagine from all around the world. All around the world. We're getting. It's not just US anymore. It's Dominican, it's China, it's Japan. We're going through everything. And it's a good thing now. And you want to basically ruin it because of, like you said, billionaires and multi-millionaires. To me, it's asinine. It's just asinine.
It's insane. We're going to be talking about this type of thing, week in and week out as we progress through the rest of the regular season and then going into the postseason, into the fall. But you said a phrase there a little bit ago, Vinny, and I kind of want to use that as a transition to this last topic of conversation this week. This past Thursday, we saw Netflix had presented the Field of Dreams game. And this is one of those games on the docket where I remember the first time they talked about doing this. And it was years after the movie had been made. Like, why are you not incorporating Major League Baseball into this? Well, finally MLB got on board with it, and they did this amazing game. And if you're not in the loop on the movie Field of Dreams, number one, you're telling me your age bracket, which not your fault. It is what it is. However, if you have any type of appreciation for the game of baseball, the movie Field of Dreams, and I am not a Kevin Costner fan by any stretch of the imagination. Let me just throw that out there. But this game, you can't say you're a baseball fan and not have at least watched this movie one time. And if you don't feel something, especially that last scene, bro, when
I know what you're going to say, with the father having a catch.
Yep. Can we go have a catch?
Oh my God.
And that line, and is this heaven, which you saw on poster boards throughout this game on Thursday night. It was between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Minnesota Twins. And you and I were texting back and forth during the early portion of this game, and we just kept saying, man, I love this whole environment. I do not like the Phillies.
Right.
I don't give a shit about the Twins, but I enjoyed the game because we didn't have this stupid shit going on. They couldn't challenge. It was very stripped down. It was very old school. That was baseball at its purest and finest form. With the cornfield in the background and the way they have really built up the stadium in quotation. It was just such a throwback, but it included 2 MLB teams. Right. And I really appreciated the pomp and the circumstance. I loved how they had the legends emerge from the cornfield at the start of the game. And, you and I were talking. I'm like, man, some of these guys have me feeling like fucking dirt. Raleigh Fingers.
I know. The Twister.
Yeah.
He came out. I said, holy cow, is he dead or alive?
For real, bro.
Right?
Like, is he up on a stick? Like, what?
Yeah. And he looked good. I was like, look. He did. Jason. Oh my God, like you said, do you know that was the first time I watched that game? Because obviously I didn't have Netflix. And I watched it. And they even had that sign, Dr. Graham, what was his name in the movie? Oh my God. Moonlight Graham. Jay, when they showed Moonlight Graham's thing, I was like, oh my God. Like you said too, at the end of that movie, when they're having a catch, listen, I lost my father at a young age. And you die for that moment. I mean, like you said, if you didn't watch that movie, you're not. To me, you're not a true baseball fan, because that brought out the kid in you, right? That whole thing, you didn't want to believe this, that, but yeah, they did a phenomenal job coming out of the corn stalks, and they were talking from the corn stalks. They set up a booth. Jay, like I said, this was my first time, so I was wowed. I was like, oh, and I'm going to piggyback what you said. Number one, they can only fit 3,000 people there, right? Which is fine. No challenges. It was just like it was supposed to be, right? In a perfect world, that's what you want. In a perfect world, you want a baseball to be played like we grew up, like that. You didn't see them looking back at the, like you said, doing this. You didn't see any of that. And one point more was that first Schwarber. That's another thing going on. These number 4 hitters hitting first. No, he was 2 balls, no strikes. I said to myself, don't, oh God, it's 2-0. He's going to give him a cream puff, isn't he? Bang. As soon as I was thinking it, I was like, and all these players, Jason, these number 4 players are hitting first because all these analytics and no, I still want my big guy hitting, bro. And I'll leave you with one other important thing. No matter if you like baseball or you don't, there was a part in that movie that everybody can refer to. Everybody. It doesn't matter if you're boy, girl, this and that. And Jason, this is what it said. If you build it, he will come. And you could take that any way you want. Because if you build it, he will come.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will come. Yeah, either way.
You said something. You had made mention that you had lost your dad at an early age. Watching the game, the pregame especially, and then as they were going into it, they were in their little vignettes and things of this nature. Like, it prompted me to stop what I was doing to call my dad. And, I'm like, hey, I just, I know you're doing your thing. I'm getting ready for work. I got this ball game on, whatever. I was like, hey, I just want you to know I love you.
Exactly.
And he thought there was something wrong. You know what I mean? But
are you dying?
it triggered, but it's that raw. It's just so fundamental. You know what I mean? Like, it really does. It does pull at the heartstrings, and it really puts life in perspective, especially if you are a baseball fan and you see what the 2026 product looks like, these billion-dollar stadiums with all the amenities and all the flashing lights and all this stuff. And then you go to Iowa, Dyersville, Iowa, in the middle of fucking nowhere, in the middle of a cornfield. There's this palace.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
A hidden palace.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is a holy grail. And I was very anxiously anticipating what the announcement of next year's game was going to be. And I told Sam, I was like, I want more than anything. And I shit you not. I was like, if they come out, because they've been doing American League versus National League, a couple of times with these things. I'm like, what if it was the Detroit Tigers and the New York Mets? I'm like, and I was like, we are flying Vinny out. He doesn't fly, but we're flying Vinny out, and we're going to fucking Iowa because we're going to go watch this game, right?
We're going to truck Vinny up on a plane.
100%. I am going to Mr. T your ass and knock you out, and we're flying to Iowa.
B.A. Baracus. Oh.
However, it was announced that next year's game on August the 12th will be the Boston Red Sox and the Kansas City Royals. Good game.
Good game.
Just wasn't one of our teams.
That's funny. when I put that game on, it was Minnesota versus Phillies. I'm like, couldn't they come up with something a little better, right, Jay? Like couldn't you Braves, like you said, Braves, Mets, Yankees, Red Sox, right? Something like that.
That has lineage to it. You know what I mean? Because you're not. I don't want to see at this stage. And listen, if I'm saying this, you got to believe me. I don't want to see the Colorado Rockies in it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like on that stage, on that field, because of the tie-ins with the movie and what the movie was, we're talking about the Black Sox scandal. Okay, we're talking about shoeless Joe Jackson here.
Yes.
We're talking about the marquee names of a long time ago. The Colorado Rockies have only been here since 1995. I don't want to see them in it. I don't want to see the Miami Marlins in it because I don't feel like they have earned that spot. I feel like they should be for the charter teams of both leagues.
Yes.
It should be the Yankees. It should be the Red Sox. It should be the Tigers. It should be the Phillies. It should be the Mets. It should be like these old school established teams. I'm all about it.
The Reds, even the Reds, Reds, like you said, way back. And you know what else pisses me off? And I'm sure you've noticed this. The ball players look like billboard signs.
Oh, with all their stupid patches and shit on their jerseys now.
Jay, like when you were saying, things all over the place, that's what I was thinking of. I'm like, do we really need like a weed kill? Like, whatever they have there. Huh? What are we wearing? Advertise. That's what, what, Jason, though? Seriously, that's what tells you how much money they're making. When they're putting it on the uniform, dude, all year. ADT for Miami Marlins. They had ADT on it. So, you're taught that tells you everything you need to know right there because all the billboards were on the wall, home, boom, 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 boom. Now they're coming out. Look, I can understand like when Davy Johnson died and they put little Davy. That's cool. That's cool. Right?
But I don't need to see Coca-Cola plastered across somebody's jersey. Now, you know what's coming next? This at-bat by Brandon Marsh is brought to you by Blue Chew or whatever the hell. You know what I mean?
Boner pills. Oh, my.
Listen, it was the first. I don't know why that.
Blue
I don't know why, of all sponsors, that's the one. Because they sponsor on all the wrestling podcasts that I listen to, so it's constantly in my head. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I can't get this up. So you need Blue Chew if you're like this.
If you're
and you become this,
wood.
You know why, Jay? It's on every other commercial these days. Blue Chew, this boner pill, that boner pill. Dude, it's like, okay, does everybody have boners these days? Jeez. I mean, listen, I'll say one thing. I know it happened. It had to happen. It's got to be the most embarrassing thing when the blue pill came out at first. I've always said this. I said, some dude must have took that pill, right? Did his business and said, oh, shit. It's not going down. It's not going down. And have to go to the emergency room with a blanket, with a tent that you're right, tent, boom, pitched up. So what's your problem? Well, take a look right there. It won't go down. Do you know they got to put a needle in there and inject you? And I'm like, listen, I don't want to really be talking about this, but geez Louise, like it's just plastered all over the place. But man, that's got to be embarrassing if you got to go to the emergency room. Stay away from the emergency room and boner pills.
Read the label accordingly.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Read the side effects, read everything.
I mean,
listen, we had to have fun. The week that we had, Jason, we needed to laugh with the audience, throw some jokes in there. It's life, bro. It's life. It's baseball. Life is good. Life is shitty. Life is equal. All of it. it all comes into play, bro. And after, like I said, after the week you and I both had, damn it, we're here. We are here still talking about the greatest game, baseball. Absolutely.
100%. 100%. I do want to make mention as we start to wind this week down, I got a couple of things. If you haven't done so already, check out the PFC Sports Real merchandise store, where you will see a lot of our gimmicks on there, as it were. Ball game merchandise, cups, hats, hoodies, jerseys, anything you can think of has mine and Vinny's beautiful faces, if not our pretty badass logo on there. So be sure to check that out. Just look for pfcsportsreal.printify.me. And speaking of the Sports Real podcast, we're going to be going live this Tuesday, beginning at 6:45, when we will be joined by the guys with Michigan Sports and Entertainment. They have been on the show before. They're great. They're really good conversation the last time they were on the show. It's going to be something of a challenge this coming week, Vinny, because like I had said, I'm going to wind up being out of town, and I'm going to have to try to do this remotely.
How are you going to do that? Wow.
Well, listen, because I told you what exactly I was doing, and that, internet is pretty much non-existent. I actually got to go into town, and there's a
coffee shop.
Yes, sir. There is a coffee shop in there that is going to allow me to set up in the corner so I can run the show. So
you could look like a nice rich person. Go to a Starbucks like they do. Ooh, there you go. Set up in the car. You give me my latte. And I will.
Can you get a splash of this, just a pinch of that? And, I mean, no, that's not whole milk, right? I need skim milk on that some bitch, and I need a double steam, not just single steam. I need double steam, because if you don't double steam it, it's not. Get the fuck out of here! Just give me a goddamn cup of coffee.
I know. Give me regular gas station coffee, bro. I'll take that.
Can I have coffee flavored coffee? Is that too hard to ask for? Just coffee flavored coffee. Shit.
One quick last thing. When we went on vacation one time, I filled up a 30-ounce at a 7-Eleven. They only had the gulp. So I said, "Do you have a smaller cup?" They said, "No." 30 ounces or 35 ounces of coffee. So here's me. And my wife's like, "You ready?" I'm like, "I'm ready. We're going kayaking." Yeah,
Hang on a second. I'm going to rip this tree out of the ground real quick, and then we'll be on our way. Yeah. I feel you. When I did maintenance before I got into my current job, I did apartment maintenance, and you go into a vacant unit to turn it over, to fix it up for the next tenant. Like I had a giant cup of coffee that lasts me until lunchtime, and then lunchtime would come around. I'm like shaking like I'm Hulk Hogan on a goddamn comeback. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh my God. Those are the days, man.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, now we got to take it a little easier than that. But, the coffee's still got to flow, though, bro. It's still got to flow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I do not operate well without it.
No, I get headaches and everything. It's like, without it, I got to have it. It's like, come on.
I'm pissy. I'm ornery. You know what I mean? It's like crap. Anyway. We appreciate anybody tuning in here with us live here today, or if you're joining us on demand on the RSS feed, we certainly appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, follow us on YouTube. Look for the PFC Entertainment Network. Hit the subscribe button. Get notified every time we go live with this fine show, or the Sports Real podcast, or any of the other shows that we do here on the PFC Entertainment Network. And I know we mentioned the Sports Real online store, but if you're a fan of other shows under our network, go to our main store at pfcstore.printify.me. Real quick, Vinny, you want to remind our fine faithful where they can find your amazing content?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Just Another Sports Fan, or at Dog, DOWG 521. You can find me there, or on TikTok, Dog, DOWGC 521. And you will find me, and I will be a pain in the ass. And you will see, and you will see the content. It's all there. But I appreciate everybody really that supports Jason and I and goes to the clips. I see that we are gaining more steam, obviously. A lot more comments. Guys, don't be shy. Put them in the comments, man. We can have so much fun with this with this recordings and everything. This show can really take off. Just put them in the comments. Don't be shy, man. Just drop them down and we'll get to you. Believe me, we'll get to you, man.
Yeah, I mean, don't be shy, but don't be, be respectful.
Right.
You're going to get back what you put in. Make no mistake.
Right. We may be nice guys, but hey, keep it PG-13, kind of.
Yeah. I am not above pissing people off, if I can be honest with you. So again, ask all my fine friends over in Sacramento. Let me go ahead and make mention of that. If you haven't checked this part out.
Oh, yeah.
Get yourself an I Love. Go get yourself a I Love Sacramento t-shirt, because as we all know, Sacramento is the home of the greatest baseball fans in all the world. So, love that for us. Now I can't get it off the goddamn screen. It won't let it. Won't. There we go. That's what I get for being a smart ass.
Smart ass.
That's Sacramento telling me to go fuck myself. So I'll go ahead and do that. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Tune in this Tuesday night live, 6:45 for the Sports Real podcast. And then we'll be back the week after for another episode of Ball Game. Go out this week, be awesome to yourselves and to each other. And we'll see you again right here on Ball Game. You're on the PFC Entertainment